That was, wow, good job.
That decision?
All right, I'm going to start. U equal, period, followed by about 3/4 of a line of periods with one break in there. Left arrow, dash, 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 U. 2 blocks of periods. Infinite you can choose schedule equal greater than, making an arrow. Know that you're thinking. Equal greater than life, open paren inevitable, close paren. Equal greater than red, open paren create, close paren dash red. 1113 underscore 2226 underscore 3339 underscore bb underscore dot jpg. Unlocked 2 dot png. Unlocked mode dot jpg. Unlocked left trty.jpg. Unlocked forgotten .jpg. Unlocked choice .png. Unlocked all underscore everything .png. Unlocked right arrow.
Oh, confused anybody out there?
No, not confused.
Man, this is just like all of my chat sessions. When my cat is on the keyboard.
I know.
Yeah. So the R that's red.
Oh, of universe?
Of universe is actually Link. And it takes you to this place called recordofawakening.com, which is some kind of blog platform sort of thing. And when you click it, there's a red header and it says The Record, and then under it and a subheader it says Find the Link, and Link is in square brackets. And then there's some posts here that you should probably just read for yourself, because it's really weird.
It's stream of consciousness is the only way that I can describe that.
Yeah. And there are a lot of links on this website, but most of them are broken or not archived, with the exception of one, which links to a website called 1214productions.com. 1214productions.com or XIIXIVproductions.com, or not .com, sorry, productions, is a website. You can still get to it today. It's unchanged relatively.
Yeah, the graphics are better, and that's really
the graphics are a little better. That's it. It is a pretty well designed website. It's got space as the background. It says Endel Rivers is XIIXIV Productions, music, art, science and beyond, technology, article, summary, Fellowship of Thoth. Thoth.
Thoth.
Yeah.
I would say Thoth.
Thoth.
Thoth. I say that's Thoth.
Thoth.
That's what I was thinking. Thoth.
Fellowship of Thoth.
It's better than the Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah, well, Fellowship of Thoth is a little bit of an outlier there. Music, art, science, Fellowship of Thoth. So what is that, you might wonder? Well, we clicked on it.
I think he's like Cthulhu Light or something.
No, he's actually the Egyptian god of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one with the bird head.
Uh-huh.
One of the ones with the bird heads. And this, you will notice if you look at the PDF, there's a little note from Steve that says, this doesn't seem cultish at all.
Yeah, I know.
Because it doesn't at all.
Nope.
Just kidding. Yes, it does. The conceptual platform is the exit strategy. The application forms were updated on this one August 2016, so like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. It still exists. They're still apparently taking applications. Joe is looking at this website with a bit of like a disbelieving,
Yeah.
really disturbed.
He's thinking about applying.
No,
Yeah.
I've seen those. I looked at all this stuff today, and these guys are crackpots. And actually, I don't think it exists. I think it's one guy.
It may be.
Maybe, but they're talking about what really scared me, what really got me going on this is about compounds.
About compounds.
Mm-hmm.
As in living compounds.
Yeah, like the Branch Davidians, and all those guys.
Yeah.
And the Jonestown.
Yeah. So it does seem kind of like a prepper thing to me. Prepper with like-minded people, I guess. They are trying to create so-called compounds, presumably for the end of times or some such. There's one note at the bottom of that page that I will mention, and that is that it says at the very bottom, also, please read 42, the answer to the ultimate questions of life, the universe, and everything. And there's a link.
Wait, isn't that a Hitchhiker's Guide thing?
Well, so you would think it's a Hitchhiker Guide thing, but no, actually, they've come up with 42 of their own tenets by which they should live, and they exist. You can follow the link. It's interesting.
What are their tenets? Things like don't litter,
Kind of.
don't run red lights. that kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of.
Watch behind your ears.
Yeah.
Floss.
More like don't swear.
Don't have negative thoughts.
Yeah. Sex for procreation only. Stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's an interesting thing that's linked to this too, I guess. I don't know if it really is, since it's part of the blog. Not the blog. Yeah, the blog. It's part of the
Out of the record?
Yeah, the record. And you heard us call it the record earlier. We're going to keep calling it the record. The record is definitely part of Oct 28, 2011.
And there's a couple of iterations of the record.
There are. All right, back to Oct282011.com. Let's move forward a little bit to August 30th. This is when it's white. It's got a red HAL-esque circle up in the top left corner. It's got this image that's represents the Schrodinger. I'm going to call it Schrodinger. I know it's Schrodinger.
Schrodinger, it's what it says on my shirt.
That's what I think. I think it's Schrodinger. Too, but, somebody else has an email and correct us. So
the Schrodinger cat.
Joe's right.
Yeah.
Paradox. This image. It's directly from Wikipedia, so there's no question in my mind that that's what that's meant to represent.
The rest of the imagery is not from Wikipedia, correct? Like the broken lab.
It is.
Lab glasses.
This image is on Wiki. There's an updated version somebody has done, but it is essentially the same.
It's almost exactly the same, yeah.
Okay.
And then
somebody did a nicer looking cat. That's really it.
And then there's a broken image below
like
that.
A lab flask. That one. No, okay, yeah. Forget it. Never mind.
And then there's some text. It says, "When I'm scared and you're close, I feel blank. It's hard to feel blank nowadays. Can you find where to be blank? ? Wait there and you'll be blank." And then the dot, square paren, ...
Can we just start referring to that as the period signature?
Period signature works for me.
Because that period signature is all over the place.
Yeah,
good point.
Yeah. And then below that it says, things are never initially accepted. However, there's plenty of time. Give up if you must. That's what history has taught you. If you're losing track, get back on the trains. And then a huge number, and then love in parentheses behind that number.
And I was trying to figure out if the love was like a tennis reference.
And by the way, obviously,
but it's not.
Oh yeah, it's a good point. But obviously that was sort of a fill-in, fill in the blanks in a sense. And I think the word you're supposed to use is drunk. When I'm scared and you're close, I feel drunk. Yeah.
Well, correctly, that is actually. And so this is the first time that we kind of see the interactive quality of this
the puzzle
website.
Starts to form.
Yeah. So below the numbers in love, there's an image of island with some clouds over it. Looks very nice.
I have no idea what island that is. I don't know what island that is
either.
In this guy, there's some code. Briefly, before we talk about the fill in the blanks, there's this little bit of code. It's a little JavaScript guy. And it's my understanding that basically what it's saying is, hey, calculate based on the epoch, which is a date that you give, right? Calculate how many seconds from now until then, or milliseconds.
Milliseconds.
Calculate how many milliseconds from now until then. And obviously the epoch was October 28th, 2011. However, I've done the math based on the screen captures, and no.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. So I don't know if that's just because the Wayback Machine is kind of wonky, or what.
So I actually don't. What I could never figure out, later on in the site, it's very obvious that the numbers are changing. In these white screened pages,
yeah, it's hard to tell.
They seemed like they were more of a written text, because I would expect that after the epoch code and its end script, then everything else is written with the word love after it. I presumed, and I could be wrong, this is a presumption on my part, that was a written number, as in they wrote it onto the
I see
the
what
page.
you're saying. Yeah. I didn't notice that before, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I don't know what that number is.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So what date are we on right now?
30th.
August 30th. So how many people are visiting this website by this time?
No idea.
On that day?
Actually, it was starting to get some decent
Not
traffic.
that many, though.
After just 6 days up.
Well, no, I remember. No, this came up. The site was created like on the 11th of August. So it'd been around a couple of weeks, but I seem to remember forum posts that maybe all the forum posts were after the 28th. I just remember that people were on this page or on this site all the time, but I might be thinking too far into the future from where we are.
I think
currently.
you are.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's quickly, because you were thinking maybe that's a counter.
Well, no, I wasn't thinking that was a counter of visits
That'd
because
be
that would be a fantastic number of
huge.
visits.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was that.
Okay.
It could be anything. It could be a code. It could be, God knows.
Yeah. So, but actually, let's return a little bit to the fill in the blanks above. And you will see that I mentioned this little like HAL red orb up in the corner here. And this orb turns green at some point. It's replaced with a green one. Actually, it doesn't turn green. It's replaced with a green one.
It looks like a light essentially.
It does.
Like a little light indicator, not a light bulb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seems okay. So the word that you fill into the blank there is safe.
It's the safe word.
No, it's
safe.
drunk.
It's safe or free, depending on apparently when users guessed and I don't totally understand how users were guessing. I think it was on the record. People were guessing, saying like, "Hey, open, is it this?" And then the light changed. Apparently, when somebody said, "Hey, is it free?" The light turned purple, or the orb turned purple for like a little bit, and then somebody said, "No, it's safe," and then it turned green, and that led people to the safe, which is oct282011.com/safe, which it turns out leads to like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Like the manuals and all that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then there's this little bit of text in the HTML again as a little comment, and it has the phone number, which I'm not going to read. It's super easy to find. Come on, you guys. And then it says open at, and most will miss the point entirely, have and will continue to looking for material. This is why we are so disconnected from everything. Connecting at record.oct282011. And then there's some weird little bit of stuff here. It's 4 backslashes.
Forward slashes.
Sorry. 4 forward slashes, 3
Bars. They're
and
bars.
7 asterisks.
Or splats, as we call them in the coding world.
Oh, splats. And then next there's a comma, and then it's 5 bars, 3 forward slashes, and 2 splats.
Or asterisks,
Or
as we call them in the real world.
As normal human beings call them. And it turns out this is a code. It's not very complex, but it's a code.
Actually, I got to tell you that it kind of is complex in that the way that somebody guessed of what to do with what we're talking about and how to make it work, it's not highly sophisticated.
It's sophomore level, maybe.
Okay, I'll give it that.
I would say it's
but
not
there was
beginner,
no like
right?
hint of this is a plus and this is a minus and this multiplies.
Yeah. It's not an Orphan Annie like Dakota ring, right?
Nah.
But it's also not like, insanely challenging. So Steve has kind of said for you all that first one, the 4 forward slashes, 3 bars, and 7 splats, symbolize 4 plus 3 equals 7.
Or it could just symbolize the number 437.
Or 437. And then the second one is 5 minus 3 equals 2, which is 72, which yields nothing, but...
Or 532.
Or 532. But I think it was meant to be like a key more than anything else. Because this coding cipher thing becomes way more prevalent and way more complex. And those do lead to things.
Eventually they do.
Eventually, yeah. Next day...
We're not to the next day. We still got to talk about the safe.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the safe for a second. It's my understanding, I don't know if this is true or not, I may have totally made this up, but from reading stuff, it sounded like the safe, if you put in oct282011.com/safe, it basically gave you a keypad.
It's a red screen with a gray keypad in the middle. And this is one of the things that drives me crazy with it, is that they did that same stuff where the keys go 1, 2, capital E, so it's supposed to be 3. It does that kind of stuff through.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work in the
Anymore.
Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
But
so you could just type in numbers and it would direct you to pages
If you got a valid number.
if you got a valid number. So this is how people discovered 5 manuals in the safe, with a lot of other pages as well, and just some really kooky random stuff. One of them is like literally just a YouTube video of the Beatles singing Hello Goodbye. Which I thought was kind of weird because I saw that and I was like, oh my god, Paul is dead. Oh no.
Well, it also made me think of, I found another site when I was doing some other searches that was in the same vein, in the same time frame, and it had the I Am the Walrus on there. I was like, oh, this is so related to Paul is dead.
Could be.
Okay, so we're going to skip ahead a little bit because I don't want to talk about every single
Well, and the
different
manuals,
homepage, landing
you need
page.
to go look at the manuals yourself.
Yeah, you do. And we'll talk about one of them, but not all of them. And then again, I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit because I don't want to talk about every single one of these pages because it changed
lot of them.
every day. Literally every day.
Or dang near.
Dang near every day. On September 3rd appears a simplified Chinese symbol that is Den, is what Google pronounced to me from this Chinese character. It's simplified Chinese. It's not kanji. You'll see people say it's kanji. It's not. And it roughly translates to mean endure. And I see a lot of people say it's like, oh yeah, patience is a virtue. Endure is what this means. No, that's bull hooey. It's really like tolerate.
Like endure it, tolerate it.
Yeah, it's like,
Be patient. That kind of thing.
I think it's more of like a, okay, deal with it. Not like a, your patience is a virtue. It's like,
Is it more of a crap happens, deal with it kind of sign?
Yeah, that's kind of my interpretation of it. And please, somebody email me if I'm totally wrong about that.
There, you don't invite that.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
And then below that is a really good instance of that cipher that we're talking about.
math cipher
The math
out of
cipher.
characters?
Yeah, and it's way more complex, and it basically translates to 1 + 1, 3 × 1, 10 - 2, and 5 + 2, which returns, of course, 2, 3, 8, 7.
And again, I don't understand how the frig people figured out that one means minus and the other means multiply.
I don't.
Because there's nothing to indicate that in here.
Yeah, I don't know that people actually do know that.
You don't?
People could be making all sorts of strange assumptions.
Plus is when your first value is a /. Minus is when your first value is a bar.
Bar, okay.
Times is when your second value is a backslash.
That doesn't work, Devin. That absolutely does not work.
Yeah.
You have two sets of numbers here that both start with a /. This code is messed up.
Plus is a / and a bar.
Okay.
Your two values.
Okay.
Okay. Minus is those swapped. So it starts with bars and it's with /.
Okay.
Times is when you've got your first value is a / and your second value is a backslash.
So they're opposing each other to make that
So
symbol.
they make those like arrow
Okay.
things. And then I've never seen a divided, so
Okay.
Yeah. Why
Okay.
multiply the 3 by 1?
to get 3.
Sorry, I'm
I don't
making
know.
it
It's dumb.
complicated.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know why.
I'm sorry. For
I apologize to everybody. You need to be looking at this. This code is just like the presumptions to make it work and to actually have got it to work are just mind-numbing to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. And realistically there are enough pages that link off of the safe that you could literally just type in 4 random numbers and
And
you
I
probably
think a bunch of people did.
probability of hitting a page is pretty high.
Because there's a boatload of pages that come
Yeah.
out of the safe.
So this one actually links to that's the Illuminati. On September 6th, we add music to this page and some additional images to the whole Schrodinger's cat
Meow.
image. And it says deja vu at the top.
There's a lot of images on this page. This is another one of the ones where they're totally going crazy with the blur tool.
Yeah, it is. And then this day is the day where you get this added fun little comment on the HTML that says it has absolutely no connection to a website called heartcom.org, which
Subtle.
yeah, you
Super
do.
subtle.
You don't say you don't have a connection to a thing if you don't have, just don't point it out. Heartcom.org is another one of those things that totally still exists, and it exists in its true form to this day.
Is today... I thought today looked better than 2011.
Slightly.
Because
But
there
it's
wasn't
still
as many
almost-
of the little dancy gift things.
Yeah. So it's worth seeing in the Wayback Machine, but the content is really just, for all intents and purposes, the same. Heartcom.org is, I guess, touting the telecom way of life. That is to say that they are defining, refining, combining, and shining their way to full spectrum light in a 5D consciousness.
Uh-huh.
Their logo is the
where do I-
Illuminati eye from the U.S. currency and love written under it.
So where do I send the check?
You can make it out to cash.
And just you'll get
No,
it to
And
them?
I'll get
no.
it to
It's
them.
Yeah.
part of this charity that I'm in. You can just use the initials. It's Convicts for Saving Horses. It's an
Uh-huh.
organization I'm with.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. You can abbreviate that if you need to.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I know that there's not enough room on your check.
Yeah.
No, not really. But yeah, these it sounds like these guys are totally on the right track, especially with the 5D consciousness. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See,
Yeah, that's an image. They
That is
literally
a dollar bill.
Yeah.
took a dollar bill.
it literally is. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
crop dollar bill. There's a lot of text in here. If you want to read it, you totally are willing to.
Welcome
to. Maybe not willing, but
I
welcome.
wasn't willing.
Yeah,
I read some of it, but not very much.
Yeah.
There was a couple of things I had to stop reading.
yeah, this was one of them for me.
The Quickening was the other one that got me. I couldn't read that.
Yeah.
Or watch it.
Yeah. I guess we'll skip ahead to September 17, where the page changes to a black background. There's a blinking 12 o'clock, like digital clock, in the corner. And there's some numbers at the top.
Now, the thing about this set of numbers is now it starts with a negative or a dash.
Well, this one, that number is like almost the exact same as the one that was below.
In the original pages, that number never started with a dash. What date are we at now?
Yes, it did.
Did it?
Hang
Yeah.
on, stop. Go back. Oh, okay. So the number is updating. All right. Cool.
Is it okay? So let me ask you this because I have a hard time with this. Is the number getting bigger or smaller?
Hang on.
I had to stop tracking the stupid number. I apologize asking this, but I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, I understand.
So that's the number on the other page. Just so you know. That's
Okay,
like what
that's
it
such
was,
a
yeah.
huge, strange string of
No,
numbers.
I know.
that-
Okay, so here, let's go through here.
It's getting bigger.
Okay.
If it's a negative number, is it increasing or decreasing?
That's a good
Oh
point.
God! I barely got through
I know,
algebra.
me too. So, okay, so it's got the 12 o'clock blinking in the right left-hand corner. Mm-hmm. There's some numbers. The first string starts with a dash and is getting bigger. Then there's a 2.129 blah, and then a 3.511 blah, long strings of numbers, and then a set of five
5 images.
images. And
All
again,
just sandwiched one right after the other.
yeah, and because again we have a Steve, he actually compiled this together to make it into a GIF.
GIF. Let's
I
see.
say GIF.
I say
I say
tomato.
GIF.
Great. Everyone else, calm down.
Yeah.
It's GIF.
So this is one photograph. This
Jif is the
Photoshop.
peanut butter.
This is one photograph that has
It's been
photoshopped.
photoshopped.
Badly photoshopped.
Yeah, I would say.
Because they take. So okay, here's Joe. Describe this photo.
Yeah, it looks like it's set in a park. It's on a lake or perhaps a river. There's a beach off in the distance, a little ways down. There's water, far shore, trees. In the foreground, you see a lot of grass, and on the left-hand side, there's a tree. And on the right-hand side, you can just barely see some trees, like just coming in the right-hand side of the frame. And there's a bunch of people sitting, standing, walking. And so on the tree, there's 2 people sitting to the left of the tree, and 1 person standing to the right of the tree.
People just start moving.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
start disappearing and reappearing.
Yeah.
So there's like a couple of people to the right of the tree disappear in the second frame. In the third frame, they reappear, but then 2 people to the left of the tree disappear.
The tree is eating them. I figured it out.
Oh my gosh. And then in the last one, they're clone, like instead of the woman that was standing next to the tree, there's like a clone of one of the women that's sitting in the chair.
Yeah.
And then below it, it says choice is yours.
And then a bunch of people also on the shoreline down there disappeared.
They do,
And
yeah.
that one, they reappear here.
Yeah. So we'll, again, I think we'll try to put this up somewhere on
Yeah.
our website so you can just see. It's kind of interesting. I'm not totally sure what the goal of it is, but hey, there you go.
I don't know. And this picture got used for a good length of time on the
It
site.
did, yeah.
Yeah, it could be numbers, could be code again. Two people disappear, two people disappear, one person disappears.
And the thing is that the period signature is again present on this page.
Yeah, that's true. And there's no weird.
Oh wait, go back. Sorry, in the code here, they have alt. So this is something that I noticed for certain images is there's alt text, and in this one the alt text is patience while others reflect. I don't know what it means, but I noticed some of the images had that same kind of descriptive alt text.
Yeah, one of the things that I've noticed that's kind of a common theme throughout is that Open continues to kind of you almost goad people on. There's definitely this sense of like, other people are getting this, why aren't you getting this? Or like, hey, hang out, other people aren't getting this, so just like chill, we're doing this all together, which is weird, but okay.
This is why I still feel like there's some ascendance tone to all of this. Ascension.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Well, I guess, yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of like Heaven's Gate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's what it is or not, but yeah.
Yeah.
We got a candle, so you know what that
Which
means.
was actually an animated GIF.
Yeah. Yeah, and the clock went to 12:01 on that one on October 7th. But we're going to skip ahead a little bit. We're going to skip to October 16th when the page changes back to a white background page. At the top it says start in California, and then there's that number that's like 155 trillion.
Yeah.
Is that? I think it's trillion.
Joe's got his.
Yep.
Joe is using his fingers.
Australian, yeah.
Yeah. And then below that is an image of a guy who's simultaneously asleep and awake, I guess, or maybe it's
Double exposure.
Yeah, I mean I know it's a double exposure. I'm just saying like it's a person laying down and a person sitting up.
Which
and then
could be a person dead a person
or
alive.
or
It's kind
like,
of
or soul or
consciousness.
spirit.
Yeah.
similar to the Schrodinger's cat
Very similar
illustration.
Yeah. Below that is a picture out of like a textbook of a probability equation, which my cousin explained to me, which was I didn't like understand.
The probability of A over B. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that it refers to the probability of A over B being equal to the probability of A intersecting over B. No.
I was going to believe
The probability of A over B is equal to the probability of A intersecting B over the probability of A. Of B. Sorry,
Yeah.
of B.
I totally get it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that every day from now on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can you put that into a probability of A over B formula for me? Because otherwise we can't have this conversation,
Yeah.
Mr. Barista. I can't pay for it without a probability.
No, I use this constantly when I'm driving. You know, it's like,
No, you're laughing, but you do. I mean, this is like a probability equation that you do unconsciously.
Yeah, you do it instantly.
Yeah.
I know I'm always like, what's the probability that the moron in front of me is going to slow down into like 15 miles an hour
Right.
over the limit? You
Yeah.
know, probability is high.
Hi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least in this town it is.
Below that is some text that says, "When do dreams start to sleep in? When do dreams start to seep into reality?" And then choice, it is yours, and then the
Period signature.
Period signature, and then there's a message from Open.
Woo.
We're not going to read it, but it's written to those involved and those who have just started seeking. And basically, Open just wants people to like calm down. There's some negativity happening. I don't know. Basically, what's going on here is Open claims in a lot of those little HTML things, like, this isn't a game.
In the HTML comments.
Yeah, this isn't a game. We're not playing a game here. It's not a game.
Oh.
But then Open also posts things like this, and you're like, well, obviously it's a game. Like, what? What? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a game. It's a prank. Who knows?
Who knows?
It's just deliberately wasting people's time.
Yeah. And then there's another little comment under here, which I'll read because it repeats for I think the duration of this website being up. This is a comment in the landing page.
Well, this comment is repeated many
over
times.
and over and over again. So this comment says, if you are expecting explosion, fires, death, and destruction, then your mind is in the wrong place and you will be disappointed. That is not what this is about. There has never been a mention of an ending. There will be a 29th. Those who continue to look for an event have been missing the point from the beginning. It is within, and eventually you will see that.
Maybe this was in retaliation to that crap TV show that was on for a while, The Event. Wasn't that what
Possible.
that was called?
Yeah.
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. Just-
Oh, it was on, and it must have been 2010, 2011, and it was on for a season, and it was a really crappy show.
Never saw it.
Yeah, well, you're lucky.
We're going to hop to October 24th, getting dangerously close to the 28th here.
Woohoo!
Where most of the page is kind of the same as the one we just described, except for below the choice is yours and the period sign off, the ellipses sign off. There's 3 images. One is like a thinking bubble from
Thought
a
bubble?
cartoon. One is like a hand pointing at a watch on a wrist, and then the other is, I think it's an optical illusion. That image,
Oh,
An
what?
optical illusion?
optical illusion.
How do you mean?
Well, I just mean that it's like meant to be an optical illusion. When you reverse image search this exact thing minus the blue and red is an optical illusion.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it's like meant to do, but
Okay. I'll believe you.
okay, great, perfect. And I have it on good authority from somebody sitting in this room that these all 3 are links.
Yep.
And they all link to the exact same thing, which is just a page with those 3 images on it.
So you want to know what's the weird thing about that?
Yeah.
Okay. I really was convinced that this had to go somewhere, and I kept trying combinations that didn't work, and then I would back up to the very beginning and keep trying it again. It wasn't until I went to the archive, whoever was doing this, so the thought bubble is 1, the hand pointing at the watch is 2, and the weird circle picture is 3. That's what they refer to them as.
Right.
They took it far enough that they built each answer. You could hit 1 like 5 times, and it was a new page. So that if somebody was actually watching the page or the address bar, they'd be like, "Oh, I've got to be getting closer," because it would be .com/1/1 until eventually it stopped. But it was kooky how far they. But it never went anywhere that I could find.
Interesting.
So I don't know what the heck it was
Yeah.
about.
Now you're talking about
There.
clicking on the images themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you clicked on 1, the thought bubble,
Yeah.
it would take you to a new page, which was 1, 2, and 3. Thought bubble, hand, and the dots. And you could then click on 1 again, and that page would look like the page had just reloaded, but in fact was a new page that was identical.
Oh. okay.
And then you could click on 1 again, and it would look like it reloaded the same page when in fact it had just loaded a new page again that was identical. That's what I mean. They took it layers and layers and layers deep,
And that's a
rather than
tremendous
looping
amount
it.
of work.
And the question is, of course, why?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, why?
Why the hell?
I never
Yeah.
saw the point.
Yeah. So,
And
okay.
that's probably my failing.
I think maybe the message here is like, believe that time is an illusion.
Yeah, I
Or-
thought it was something like thought is what makes time an illusion, or like your brain or consciousness is time's illusion, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
because
It's
there
something
are
like that.
There
yeah.
are those who say that time doesn't really exist.
Yeah, it's a flat circle, man.
Uh-huh.
And you know,
Yeah.
I have tried to tell my boss that
I
over and
know.
over, and that bastard
I'm in the
keeps
same-
docking
yeah.
me for not showing up on time. I'm like, but it's an illusion, man. I
There's
was
a-
here.
There's a tweet that keeps getting circled around that is like one of my favorite things, and it's like, boss, like, why are you late? Guy who's about to invent daylight savings times. Oh, haven't you heard? Best ever for me. Okay, so we're gonna skip ahead to the next time that there's a snapshot of this on the Wayback Machine. And now one would assume, given that this website is called October 28th, 2011, that some enterprising, forward-thinking
Like there's got to be a
human-
fireworks gif or something going on.
or they would just be like, hey, you know what I'll do? We've been cataloging this on the Wayback Machine. I've been hitting, snapshot this page. This is the very day that this website was created for. I will go and snap it. No, not a single image of what this website looked like on October 28th.
Nobody's given it.
Doesn't exist.
Nobody screen
That's
captures.
so frustrating to me.
What the hell's wrong with you, Internet?
Come on, guys. Jeez. So the next image we have is from October 30th.
2 days after
2011.
the fact.
2 days after the fact.
After the web equivalent of the money shot, and
Yeah.
we don't have it.
Don't have it. Yeah. The cameraman was just shy. I don't know.
Camera
top
shy?
of the page. Top of the page is the ellipses sign off. Then there's the three images: the thought, time, illusion,